This video will be about um, the cognitive dissonance that your brain constantly fights against. Um, and I know it's something that I struggle with because the brain doesn't want to believe the truth. The brain really doesn't want to believe the truth about the whole situation. That you were really around uh, a bunch of robot actors that weren't real people, that were just pretending that the whole time around you. Your brain really doesn't want to believe that, and you're just like, oh, that can't be real. It was just a bad dream. It must be me. It must be me. And that's what I struggle with. And another thing, like, my counselor kind of invalidated my experience, and I'm like, yesterday, and I'm just like, and I started to second guess myself. I'm like, she made me think like I made up the whole narc abuse, like the whole um, horrendous experience, even though all the memories are in my head. You know what I mean? Um, so I'm like, so it made me second guess myself. I'm like, it would be easier and it would be very convenient for the entire world if I just if I just say I made it up. You know what I mean? Which I didn't. uh, what I went through was real, very real. Um, and uh, and like I tried to, my brain tried to bury it and convince myself and think like the world, and just like all that shit couldn't be real. All their crazy behaviors couldn't be real. Uh, but it is real, and I even have scars from some of the abuse, like physical scars, So I can remind myself, it happened, it's not made up shit. And so, um, but I know it's very convenient for regular people to believe that this kind of evil is not going on behind closed doors. I know it's very convenient for them, just to sweep it under the rug, don't talk about it. You know, we live in a perfect world. You know what I mean? It's very easy to sweep this kind of evil under the rug because it is insane evil, like insane uh, targeting. Um, so, anyways, because my brain does like do the cognitive dissonance between the truth, what really happened, and what everybody else wants me to think happened. You know, the sugar coated version. The kid imagined the mask coming off their parents. The kid imagined the narcissistic rage. The kid imagined the rage of their parents. I didn't imagine that shit. It happened. You know what I'm saying? I didn't imagine that shit. You can't imagine that shit. And so, like, I'm thinking about, like, maybe talk therapy is not the best thing for narc abuse survivors. I don't think it is. Um, you gotta maybe find like a counselor that understands narc abuse, uh, which I think you are very lucky if you find a counselor that understands narc abuse. Very lucky. I haven't found one yet that understands narc abuse, from a actually being a victim of it. I haven't found one yet personally, um, but there are you uh, there are chances that you run into and this is another thing that I've realized, and I stumbled on a video on it on accident, probably not on accident, that probably from the universe telling me like a lot of therapists are narcissists. A lot of therapists are narcissists. So keep that in mind, you know. They don't always have your best interest in mind, and they will invalidate, like I was invalidated yesterday, like making it think that I made things up for me to be safe. I didn't make that shit up. I didn't make that shit up. I saw that shit. It's fact, and that's what I told her. I'm like it, and it was like a little battle. I'm like, I didn't make that shit up. So if you get invalidated by a counselor, I understand. I I do understand. It happened to me yesterday. So it's just like I told you they outnumbered me. I told you. What did I say? I knew they outnumbered me. That's why I never got help. You know, because you re-traumatize yourself when you're getting help. You run into another one. You know, you see what I'm saying? You keep running into them, even in the professional field. You can't get help. So it's like you're re-traumatizing yourself, you know? And and I know others have experienced this. And so it's just like all you have is yourself really to heal yourself, you know. It seems like um but maybe God is the only one cuz all the counselors are fucking like them, you know? I don't know. I told you that's why it's so discouraging for me. That's why it's always been so discouraging. Is because my story is so horrendous that one, I know they outnumber me. From my upbringing, there's a lot more of them than there are me. And two, uh, I took a lot of damage, and I'm just like, what's the point? I took a lot of damage, so what's the point? You know, I'm like, not even no professional can fix this shit. You know, it's horrendous uh, abuse that you can't really put into words. You know what I mean? You're being controlled and manipulated by a psychopath or more than one. You know, a tag team. You know, in my case, you know, just manipulating, messing with you to control you. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't want to believe this shit exists. It exists. Uh, and I know God knows it exists. So, um, for any other survivors out there, like I validate you. This exists. It exists. It's not fiction. And I know a lot of people in society, which you know, society just wants to sweep this kind of thing under the rug. Like there's no evil. There's nothing going on. That's impossible. You know, we live in America. You know, that can't happen here. You know, but it does happen here. It definitely happens here, and like it's a psychopath run society. Like the psychopaths run the media, the psychopaths run the government, the psychopaths run everything. It's a psychopath society to support the psychopath, you know, basically. And that's the reality, and that's what Narc Poacher said, and I agree with her. It's a psychopath society that supports the psychopath, and I knew I was outnumbered at, you know, from a young age. Just like I'm totally outnumbered here. You know, just by what I watched on television, uh, the people I was around in family, I knew I was outnumbered. There wasn't a lot of people like me at all, with some kind of sanity of any kind, you know, of any kind of honor, any kind of belief in honesty, anything, you know, like everybody was one of these uh, deceptive, deceiving tricksters, you know. And so, anyways, that's all I wanted to say is like, I understand the cognitive dissonance you want to convince yourself what society wants you to convince you of, that it wasn't that bad. You made it all up. you know, just, you know what I'm saying? They want to sweep it under the rug, like it's a kid's imagination. No, it wasn't. No, that's what they don't get. It wasn't imagination. I saw it. It's still in my memory. I saw these things. I saw these things. My own eyes, physical eyes. I saw this, you know. But I mean, I tried to convince myself it didn't happen for a lot of my life. I really did. I like buried the memory. Buried the memories with different things, addictions. I tried to bury it. I tried to bury this. It was so bad. I tried to bury this. It was so horrendous to me what I saw. But anyways, I I just want to validate you guys that with the cognitive dissonance that society wants you to think. Society wants you to be a certain way, uh, and invalidate you, but don't let them invalidate you. You know, society is mostly narcissists, mostly compared to the survivors of this. We're outnumbered. You know, well, at least I think, at least I thought. You know, um, but yeah, it just kind of made me mad that it would be convenient and easy for everybody in the world if me myself just just shut up about it, you know, and just uh not talk about it and not expose these monsters. You know what I'm saying? It'd be so easy if I wasn't exposing these monsters. It'd be so easy for them because they could still run the show like they always have, you know, and control like they always want to, you know. But anyways, I do understand uh the people that went to professionals to get help and just got kind of stonewalled, invalidated, um because I already expected that I'd be invalidated. You know what I mean? I already expected that. The shit I went through was so horrendous that invalidating that this kind of shit could not be possible. You know what I mean? Like I knew I'd be invalidated. It's so horrendous. It was so bad. People don't believe it. I was born in a cult under psychopaths. You know what I mean? And I was scapegoated by them. I was targeted. It really happened. It's legit. I'm still on the run from these entities. I still am. I'm hiding from them. That's how. That's how much pressing they do. You know what I'm saying? Uh. Anyways, but I don't know what I want to do for my future. Like now, like if I really am free, for the first time, uh, I don't really know what I want to do, but I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll just travel a lot around to different states or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say is just I fight the cognitive dissonance. You know, I know what society wants me to think. I know that, like, they're narcissists. I know they want me to think that this shit doesn't exist, but it does. It exists. Um, I've seen it close up. Close up. I've seen these entities close, like decades close. Um, all in the memory. I've seen them close. So, anyways, that's all I want to say. Later.